What's up guys, it's me Eric B and welcome back to the channel. And in this video we're going to be doing a first ride on this 2020 Indian Scout Bobber. So I'm trying to change it up a little bit for you guys, you know, bring you some more cruiser content and stuff like that. As you all know, I'm a sport bike guy. And if you haven't seen my last first ride video, go check it out. It was on a Honda CBR 600RR. So I have done some rides on a couple cruisers. So I was on a Harley Davidson Road King Special. That thing was awesome. I've done a Honda Fury, Suzuki Boulevard, Boston 109, and a Harley Davidson Sportster Roadster. So I've had a taste of the cruiser life, and now, you know, I can kind of compare them a little bit. But I've always wanted to get my hands on an Indian. I've been seeing these things around, and they just look amazing. Like, the styling of them is pretty awesome. It has like this sporty, nice cafe racer look, if you will. But yeah, man, if you guys, you know, got one, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think, you know, between Harley and Indian and, you know, some of the other brands. Yeah, just doing a quick walk around this thing. It looks awesome, man. I guess you can put a seat on it for a passenger if you want to, but I just love the way that this, you know, seat and everything right here looks. I got this stuff on here, but yeah, this seat is really nice. Has Indian motorcycles etched in it, but it's really comfortable so far. On the ride over here, it wasn't too bad. But I mean, I can't complain anyway. Most of your cruisers and stuff like that are going to be comfortable anyway. And I think this bike is really nice for, you know, city riding and stuff like that. And you can also, you know, take it out on some road trips and stuff. But the owner had told me that, you know, if you're going to go on a long road trip, this probably isn't the bike you want to do it with. All right, so this bike doesn't have anything done to it except for the exhaust. As you can see here, it has a Van Hines exhaust system on it. And other than that, there's nothing else done to the bike. Now, I think these are also aftermarket, these mirrors. All right, hold up before you guys leave me live in the comments section. Yes, those mirrors come stock like that from the factory. I did not know that at the time. I thought they were aftermarket, but now I know. And I think they look really good because some of the mirrors they put, like even on the naked bikes and stuff, you know, they're kind of sticking up like antennas on an insect or something. But these bar end mirrors look really good. Also, you can kind of tell the front tire is a little thicker than normal. It's almost the same width as a rear tire, to be honest with you. Yeah, and I think that is kind of cool. I'll double check it, you know, once we get it on the road to see how the handling is. But I like that because you won't get stuck in those grooves and stuff like that on the road, you know, kind of like what you will with some of the other bikes with the skinnier tires. So that's kind of cool. All right, so we got a single disc rotor out in front here. It is belt driven. Pretty standard for most of your cruisers, and I just like how it has, you know, the details on the motor and stuff, the little brush details and stuff like that, the little eye for Indian and everything on it. And then also the key is on the side as well, so I've noticed that with most cruisers, your key's on the side of the motor there. All right guys, and here is the Tack. Nothing special or fancy or anything about that. All right, one thing I wish they would have did was put a nice LED headlight there in the front, but it is what it is. You can change that out yourself if you want to later on. All right guys, and the only other thing that's weird to me on this bike is where they position the rear brake master cylinder. So typically they're either in the rear or they're up on the handlebars, but this one they decided to put it right here next to the pedal. So when you try to hit the pedal, if you're not used to riding this bike, you tend to hit this instead of hitting the pedal. So it's just something to get used to. All right guys, let's go ahead and get this thing out on the road, see how she rides. And as always guys, before we do that, let's cut to the B-roll. All right, let's hear this thing fired up. That exhaust sounds good. Bike's already warmed up. Yeah. flip around here. Not bad, not bad. She's got some punch. Hopefully my GoPro here on the front holds up. Doesn't go flying off like it has on some of my other bikes I've ridden. I don't know how the exhaust sounds coming across on the GoPro, but hopefully it's pretty decent. And we got traffic. But yeah, so, you know, coming from my sport bike and jumping on a bike like this, a lot different. One, this bike is a lot more comfortable as far as the seating position goes. The seat feels pretty good, not too hard or anything like that. And then the foot pegs, I think it's a decent position for them. Every time I get on, I'm wanting to put my feet back just because I'm used to riding the sport bike. But I will say, as far as the pegs go, I like them better than the Sportster Roadster. Those were a little weird. They were a little bit further back. So then whenever you're stopped at like a stoplight or something like that, they kept, hitting my legs and everything, and I didn't like that. So they're a little bit more forward, so I don't really have that problem. And then like I was saying before, sometimes when I go to hit the rear brake, you got this master cylinder right here, and it can kind of, depending on the boots that you wear and everything too, they can kind of get in the way when you're trying to use the foot brake here. But I don't know, just something to get used to. As far as the shifting and everything with this thing goes, I mean, it's butter smooth. The gears aren't really notchy or anything. It's pretty smooth, and finding neutral is so easy. I know on some of the sport bikes I ride, man, it's like trying to find neutral is like, oh my gosh. But all right, the 2020 Indian Scout Bobber. Man, finally got myself on an Indian, and I like it. Oh man, just got some torque, man. That power is nice. All right, so a little history lesson for you guys. If you weren't already tracking, Indian was, the Indian Motorcycle Company was produced in 1901. And I want to say in 1923, they changed the name from Hindi Motorcycle Company, I think it was, to Indian. So if you guys didn't know that already, now you know. All right, so starting off with the looks of this bike. This bike looks amazing. It's an A+ in my book. I like the way that the styling is on this bike, and this is my kind of style of cruiser, so if I was to get one for myself, this is probably something I would go with. I mean, it kind of reminds me of kind of like a naked bike as well, like a hyper naked sport bike, something like that, just because of the way that the handlebars are and everything. I don't like the cruisers that, like the Road King that I rode with the ape hanger handlebars. Even though I think those were put on aftermarket, I like the way that this feels. So on this bike, you're comfortable. You're in a nice upright position. You're not leaned back too far, but you also have kind of a sporty position as well. So you want to hit some curves and stuff like that with this bike. You can definitely do that. Scrape some pegs and whatnot. And we got a lot of controlled burns going on over here. As far as like your control layout and everything, your tachometer looks really good. It's simple, easy to use. So the tachometer here, the ergonomics of it, look right down, it's right there. You don't have a lot of going on or anything like that. You do have a gear shift indicator. You got things, there's a switch here in the front, so you can switch it up and check your trip and temperature and miles and stuff like that. And then you got your brights, blinker, your horn, and then your kill switch and starter and everything, and that's about it. There is not a lot of electronics or anything on this bike. I know the newer models, I think they have cruise control and some power modes and stuff like that, but this one does not. And if I'm wrong, guys, definitely feel free to correct me down in the comments below. But the owner told me, there really wasn't a lot of electronics. There was no cruise control, there's no power modes. I don't even think this had ABS. But yeah, the handlebars and everything, the grips, they feel really good. And like I said, I like these bar end mirrors here down below. The only thing I hate about bar end mirrors is that, you know, you have to look all the way down to you know, see behind you and everything. Even though, you know, you should be doing shoulder checks and stuff like that anyway. It's just, I don't know, it's just weird. I like mirrors that are, you know, you don't have to move your head too much to look behind you. Like I said, overall feel of the bike, man, it feels good. As far as the handling goes, this thing whips back and forth pretty good. It's not bad, especially for being a heavy bike too. I mean, you know, once again, most of your cruisers are going to be a little bit heavier than, you know, your sport bikes and stuff like that. So this bike does come in around 570 pounds, which is pretty heavy, but you know what? Maneuvering this thing from a standstill and just maneuvering out on the road, it does not feel heavy at all. There is a lot of wind, man. I remember when I had my MT10, had all that wind and stuff in your face. You know, you don't have all the fairings and the windscreen and stuff of a sport bike, or even some of your other cruisers that have the windscreens and stuff. But yeah, you really get on this thing, you gotta hold on because the wind just starts pushing you. So this does have 6 gears, so that's pretty cool too. Not a lot of cruisers have a 6-speed transmission. This one does. Like I said, it's belt driven. And going into the power, man, this thing has 100 horsepower with a little over 70 foot-pounds of, or pound-feet, I should say, of torque. Some people want to correct me on that. But not bad at all. And obviously, a lot of cruisers aren't going to have a lot of horsepower. They're going to have more torque. And that's what you want anyway, man. You just want that down-low grunt and power to get up and move. Oh, yeah. Woo. Yeah, and it's good usable torque, man. That thing, it kind of, as soon as you hit it, it gives you everything. And then it's just smooth throughout the entire power band. I think you get a lot of that power right around 6,000 RPM or so, and there's no RPM gauge on here. But man, you can really get this thing moving. Oh, it's so bumpy. Here we go, okay. That's your true test of the suspension right there. So this thing isn't super plush or anything, not bad, but man, it's really bumpy over those, over some of those bumps. But you guys can see, man, this thing will get up there. It just takes a minute, but she moves down low. That's where the torque really kicks in and everything, but it just doesn't have any top end or anything. So this thing has a 1,133cc motor. It's a V-twin, and man, she feels good. She even sounds good. That exhaust makes it sound really nice. Oh guys, I take that back. This does have an RPM gauge. So if you switch your settings here, see that? It has a digital RPM gauge right there. So that's pretty cool. Nice. So there's that. Also, this does not have a fuel gauge, but it does have a low fuel indicator. That's not a big deal. Most of the time, you know, once you get used to when you need to fill up on your bike, you can just use the mileage and just keep track of that. Get off the bike here. All right, so I just want to pull over real quick for you guys, give you another look at the bike here. See that exhaust? Yeah, nice little look at her. Awesome looking bike, man. I like it. I think, like I said before, if I was to get a cruiser, this would probably be it. As I said in my previous videos, I'm a taller person. I'm about 6'2", and when you're sitting down in this thing, you know, it just sits really low to the ground, and like you just feel like, look at my legs here, how bent they are. So if you're a shorter rider, not a problem with this bike at all. But yeah, guys, like I said before, for the weight and everything, I mean, it's almost 600 pounds, and the thing doesn't feel like it's heavy at all. It handles great on the road, and you can maneuver it around pretty easily, you know, just from a standstill here if you need to maneuver it in your garage or in a parking lot or something like that. See, every time I want to put my feet back. Yeah. As far as the pricing on this thing goes, it's not too bad. You know, most cruisers, like if you get a Harley or something like that, when I think of those type of bikes, I'm thinking they're going to be, you know, upwards in the $20,000 to $30,000 range. But this one is about $12,000 or $13,000 brand new, if I'm not mistaken. You can even get them used for anywhere between 9 and 11. So that's not too bad. See how she corners. Not bad. My number one thing that I like best about this bike is the styling. This thing looks amazing. And I say if you are just getting into riding and you're looking at cruisers, or you're coming over from sport bikes or something like that, and you don't want anything that's too expensive, but you want something that's sporty, I think this is the bike to go with. All right, guys. So I just wanted to bring you a quick first ride review of this 2020 Indian Scout Bobber. Man, this thing has been a blast to ride. And I want to bring you guys different content to the channel every now and again, not just do sport bike stuff. So I know there's, I got some viewers out there that ride cruisers and stuff, and got to bring you guys something different every now and again. Now, I do not discriminate. I can't even talk. I don't discriminate against anything on two wheels. Cruisers need love too. And this Indian is one of my favorite ones so far. So if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe if you want to keep seeing videos just like this and some of my other sport bike content. And if you're liking what you're seeing, give me a like, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.